Welcome back to AI Evaluation. Apple is getting ready to transform Siri into something entirely new, an AI robot that can move, see, and respond like a living assistant. It's their boldest leap into artificial intelligence yet. Meanwhile, in China, researchers have built a robot that can pollinate crops autonomously, a breakthrough that could one day help solve global food shortages. At Johns Hopkins, an AI-driven surgical robot has performed a gallbladder procedure completely on its own, with the accuracy of an expert surgeon. Over in California, AI construction robots are rebuilding homes destroyed by wildfires in record time. And just recently in Beijing, the world's first humanoid robot games kicked off, with machines sprinting, boxing, and sometimes crashing dramatically on the field. On top of all that, HTC has entered the battle for AI-powered glasses, with a sleek new design that could challenge both Meta and Apple. Clearly, AI and robotics are moving fast. So let's break it all down. Apple is preparing what might be its biggest AI project yet, pulling Siri out of the iPhone and turning it into a robot that feels more like a real assistant. For more than a decade, Siri has been stuck as a limited, often frustrating voice on your phone. Now, Apple's plan is to bring Siri to life through smart displays, household robots, and an entire ecosystem of AI-powered devices. At the center of this vision is a tabletop robot targeted for 2027. Imagine a screen on a robotic arm, a device that swivels to follow you, tracks your movements, nods, dances, and even shows Siri as a face that reacts back. According to Bloomberg, Apple has tested prototypes where Siri appears not just as a voice, but as a visual character, from animated Finder icons bouncing around to Memoji-style avatars that mirror your expressions. The hardware looks like a tablet mounted on a motorized stand, able to lock onto you during FaceTime calls, making video chats feel far more dynamic. Apple researchers even published a demo earlier this year where a prototype danced in sync with music and copied users' gestures. And that's only the beginning. Apple has reportedly brainstormed Amazon Astro-style home robots on wheels and even floated the idea of humanoid designs. In other words, Apple is laying groundwork for something much bigger than just an upgrade to Siri. Behind all this is a completely new brain for Siri, a large language model known internally as LLM Siri that could launch as soon as next spring. Unlike the old Siri, this one runs on generative AI, capable of flowing conversations like ChatGPT's voice mode. It can even recognize multiple users, scanning faces with its built-in camera to personalize answers, displays, and smart home controls. But before we see the robot, Apple is preparing a smart home display for 2026. Think of it like Google's Nest Hub, a countertop screen for music, notes, video calls, and home controls, but with Siri front and center, redesigned with a new animated look. And this is only one piece of a wider plan. Apple is quietly working on cameras, security devices, foldable iPhones, smart glasses, thinner iPhones, a hybrid iPad MacBook device, and even a 20th anniversary iPhone edition. So when critics say Apple is behind in AI, this is their answer. They're not chasing chatbots. They're building AI-powered devices that live with you. Inside Apple, leadership knows the stakes. Craig Federighi, head of software engineering, reportedly told his team this Siri overhaul positions Apple for a far greater upgrade than they first imagined. Investors seem to believe it too. Apple's stock surged from around $222 in early August to over $230 just weeks later, jumping another 1.7% right after the robot report surfaced. Wall Street clearly views Apple's robotic AI vision as a major growth engine. While Apple is moving toward personal AI assistants, China just made a huge advance in agriculture. Scientists at the Institute of Genetics and Developmental Biology unveiled GAR, the world's first robot that can autonomously perform hybrid pollination. Normally, cross-pollinating plants is slow, labor-intensive, and prone to mistakes. but GR can independently navigate a greenhouse, identify flowers, and transfer pollen with near-perfect accuracy. This could transform food production. Hybrid crops typically yield far more than traditional ones, but the process is expensive and inefficient when done by hand. GAR changes that. It works consistently, reduces costs, and dramatically speeds up pollination. The team even engineered male sterile flowers through gene editing to make hybridization smoother. Combined with new techniques like speed breeding and de novo domestication, they're building what they call an intelligent robotic breeding factory. One of their standout breakthroughs is a male sterile soybean system. Since soybeans are vital worldwide, making hybridization faster and cheaper could massively boost crop yields. Project leader Susha describes GAR as a closed-loop system where biotechnology, AI, and robotics merge together. Their findings were even published in Cell, one of the world's most prestigious science journals. Of course, challenges remain: high costs, infrastructure requirements, and ethical debates over genetic modification and biodiversity. There's also the question of labor, since many farmers rely on pollination work. But if scaled, this technology could address some of the toughest problems in global agriculture, even contributing to food security worldwide. Now, let's move to medicine. At Johns Hopkins University, researchers developed the Surgical Robot Transformer, SRTH, which recently performed a critical stage of gallbladder removal, entirely on its own. This wasn't a scripted sequence. The robot learned by analyzing surgical videos and pig cadaver operations, using a machine learning model similar to those that power ChatGPT. That means it can adapt in real time, make decisions on the fly, and even recover from unexpected complications, like blood flow or anatomical differences. In testing, it completed 17 surgical tasks without errors, achieving results comparable to experienced surgeons. This is a shift from robots that simply execute steps to robots that actually understand medical procedures. Researcher Axel Krieger called it a critical milestone toward robots being viable in real operating rooms, not just labs. The SRTH can even respond to voice commands from doctors and refine its skills as it learns. Published in Science Robotics, this builds on their earlier 2022 breakthrough when the smart tissue autonomous robot performed surgery on a live animal. The long-term goal? Fully autonomous surgeries in hospitals around the world. Now to disaster recovery. In Pacific Palisades, California, ABB Robotics and Cosmic Buildings deployed a mobile robotic microfactory to help rebuild after devastating wildfires destroyed over 16,000 structures. Inside a large temporary facility, a robotic arm connected to an AI-driven planning system assembles wall panels with precision and speed. 2 human workers assist with materials, but the robot does all the heavy lifting. Each wall section takes only 20 minutes, and a full house frame can be built in just 10 days. That's a 70% faster build time and about 30% lower costs compared to traditional construction. And these aren't just standard homes. They're designed with fire-resistant materials, solar panels, battery storage, gray water recycling, and renewable water systems. The plan is to build 100 homes by 2027. And impressively, the entire microfactory was set up in only 30 days, making it a powerful solution for future disaster zones. This is AI and robotics directly helping communities recover. Meanwhile, in Beijing, China hosted the first ever World Humanoid Robot Games. Think of it like the Olympics, but for machines. Over 500 robots from 16 nations competed in events from running and soccer to kickboxing, medicine sorting, and cleaning. The opening ceremony featured robots playing instruments and dancing with humans. Of course, it wasn't flawless. Robots stumbled, collided, and often toppled over. Soccer matches looked more like clumsy waddles than smooth passes, and kickboxing resembled awkward shoves. Still, progress was clear. The Unitree H1 humanoid actually won gold in both the 400-meter and 1,500-meter races. Its 1,500-meter time, 6 minutes and 34 seconds, roughly twice as slow as the human world record, but an astonishing achievement for robotics. China is investing billions into this field, motivated both by an aging population and global competition with the US. These games serve as a testbed where engineers can experiment, fail, and learn before pouring millions into commercial products. And finally, AI glasses. HTC just revealed the Vive Eagle smart glasses in Taiwan. They weigh just 49 grams, about the same as Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses, but pack in powerful features, built-in speakers, a 12-megapixel wide camera, Zeiss lenses, and an AI assistant capable of translating 13 languages in real time, logging reminders suggesting restaurants, and recording notes. They're available in multiple colors: red, brown, gray, and black, priced around $520. For now, they're limited to Taiwan, but if HTC launches globally, they could pose serious competition to both Meta and Apple. And with Apple rumored to be working on its own smart glasses, plus Google and Samsung in the race, AI-powered eyewear could be the next big battlefield in consumer tech. The truth is, AI isn't some distant dream anymore. From Siri evolving into a robotic assistant, to machines pollinating crops, performing surgeries, rebuilding homes, and even competing in sports, AI and robotics are now embedding themselves into everyday life, and the pace of change is only accelerating. That's it for today's breakdown. If you enjoyed this, drop a comment, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.